So my name is Carys and I'm the Equality and Diversity Officer for Rhondda Council. How I would describe my overall role would be to promote and support equality initiatives across the council, and to make sure that the council is meeting the statutory requirements, and making sure the staff aren't discriminated on the basis of their protected characteristic outlined in the Equality Act. So that could be due to their race, their sexual orientation, age or disability. So my role is really varied, but some of those tasks involve training, so delivering training to members of staff in the council. I also get to work really closely with schools in Rhondda so delivering workshops and training again to pupils from primary schools and secondary schools, and then also LGBT plus related facts and figures from schools around bullying and discrimination again. So that's been really interesting. I was also lucky enough to work with a group of staff from schools in secondary schools to be able to develop a trans toolkit, and that basically was a document to support trans pupils in schools. Another really interesting task that I have within my role is to raise awareness of certain events and days. These are usually related to one of the 9 protected characteristics in the Equality Act. So for example, we support Time to Change Wales. This is a campaign that tries to break down the stigma of talking about mental health in the workplace. So we try and visit different sites and offices around the council in RCT. Due to the nature of my work, I get to liaise with different people every week. I get to interact with people at all levels, from all different backgrounds, from different workplaces. We sit within human resources within the council, so we have a really good relationship with them, and we regularly give advice to each other and share good practice. But I get to liaise with community groups, other local authorities, other equality officers from different organisations, local government, third sector charities, cabinet members, and well, really all of our staff right across the council. What is great about this role is we get to meet some amazing, inspirational people across Wales, across the UK, which is really encouraging, because we get to meet people who believe in the same work that we are trying to do in the council. So this is the most difficult question to answer. As we say, every day in equality is different from the last. As mentioned already, our roles within equality are very varied, so every day will be different depending on what time of year it is, what sort of events are going on and what's happening in the workplace. So an average week, I guess, for us would be usually 2 days working from home a week, and this is usually our time where I can work from home, have less distractions, and work on more of my long-term projects or research, as that can be a little bit difficult in an office environment. So each week I would also be setting some time aside to get some admin work completed. I would also perhaps be doing some sort of coffee morning or small event either in the workplace or working with local colleges or other local authorities to be raising awareness about certain events. I often receive phone calls throughout the day, either from managers or members of staff, looking for support. That could be member staff is pregnant and now needs some additional support in the workplace to be able to do their job, or it could be a manager seeking some advice because a member of their staff have been from work for long-term sickness and is coming back to work, and they want to make sure that they're well supported when they come back to their role. So I certainly didn't know that there was a job such as an equality officer when I was in school. So my route to this role was straight after school I went to university and studied sports development, worked for a couple of years and decided to go back to university, and I did my postgraduate diploma in youth work and ended up completing my masters in working for children and young people. So I worked in youth work for a couple of years and then had a position with Rhondda Council coordinating a youth programme. This was to support young people who were currently out of employment and education, so trying to help them back into further education or employment. Alongside this, I also teach part-time, so I teach youth work to people who are in that area of work already. So I had experience of managing projects, but also delivering lessons, presentation and teaching. And I really think that was the important part of getting this role. It was the ability to go and deliver sessions. But within our team, all of us have very different backgrounds. So for example, my manager comes from a background of human resources. We also have a graduate who works for us who came through the graduate programme, and she has a master's in English literature. So it can vary, the route can vary into this role. And although we've all completed an MA, this isn't always something that you have to have for one of our roles. As I said, there can be other routes taken to work within equality. Lastly, then, salary, that's important to a lot of people. This can really vary depending on what level you're working at. So an apprentice within equality could make 18,000, and then you can become manager, lead or director and be making anything from 40,000 plus. So my favourite aspect of this role is that I continuously learn something new, and always find myself wanting to learn more. It's also the fact that I get to communicate and meet so many different people, and deliver the training and workshops. I have a really supportive manager and director that acknowledge that there's some challenges with this role, but I feel really well supported within my role, and if there's any chance of developing my career or going on different training courses, that's always offered to me. Another real bonus of working within my role within the council is that we get to work flexibly. So we have flexi hours, and our role sometimes I do have to work weekends a few times during the year because of things like Pride and different events, or we might have to travel a bit further, so we work a bit later in the evenings. This just means that we get that time back in flexi, so I find it a real benefit to the way I like to work. So one of the most important skills I believe in this role is communication skills, but having the ability to adapt the way you communicate depending on the audience. So for example, in 1 week I could be delivering a session to year 6 pupils, then going to do a presentation to cabinet members, and then a group of people in the community, so really different. So having the ability to adapt for each audience is really important. I'd also say the ability to research and to keep wanting to learn. As I said, there's something to learn every day in the world of equality. Everyone in our team is really passionate about equality and the work that we do, and we see the bigger picture of injustice and discrimination that happens on a wider scale. So it's the skill of being passionate about the work that we do without being overpowering or judgmental of others. On the whole, we don't have to consider too many health and safety issues. As I said, we are out and about quite a lot, so things like lone working, travelling, and delivering sessions to large groups on your own, some risk assessments and lone working policies to follow, but other than that, not really something we have to think about. Although the nature of our work, again, we do constantly think about accessibility. So where we're delivering training, can people access the building? Is the material and resources that we use accessible? So that's an element of health and safety as well. So we do think about that quite a lot.